Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video for the 12th episode of Season 3 of Babylon 5 called Sic Transit Vir. Last time we saw some of the remnants of the Night Watch planning an attack on key people on Babylon 5. The crew held a memorial service for those lost during the battle in the previous episode. Londo demanded that Reefer break off all contact with Mr. Morden and his friends and recalls Centauri ships to protect the Centauri homeworld. He used the threat of a poison to ensure this happened. Delenn was kidnapped by the remaining Night Watch and they demanded that the Minbari ships around the station withdrew, else she'd be killed. Marcus went looking for Delenn's whereabouts and had a friendly chat with a few people for information. They found her and a firefight ensued, with Delenn being hit with a knife by the station's resident psycho. John caught the man and Delenn was going to be okay from her wound. And as a gift of rebirth to the senior staff, Delenn had new uniforms made for them. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. So they haven't got their jackets on. It's a bit of a compromise.
Good morning. Put me online with the first ship and let's get this show on the road.
Well, that's a new uniform. I'm assuming a dream. Or nightmare. Or she's getting a lot more friendly with the staff.
The time is 05:30 EST, July 3rd, 2260. Have a nice day.
The computer voice always sounds just a bit too computery for me. I know back then they didn't obviously have the tech we have now, but now AI voices sound fairly natural.
I was just looking, really. I didn't touch a thing.
It's going to be your seat at some stage.
He asked me to convey his compliments on your hard work, even if some parts of it do read as if they were written by Ambassador Malari.
I don't know, what is more dangerous than a locked room full of angry nerds?
One angry non with the key.
Ah. Suddenly that joke has a new meaning. I'd be surprised that number of Narns would be allowed to congregate in one place, especially in the palace. I know they obviously probably snuck in there, but you would have thought that, well, that number of Narns would be missed from whatever they're doing. They must be, I assume, servants at the palace, which is dangerous in itself. Obviously they could attack or kill people in revenge. So they wouldn't be able to sneak into the palace. They must work there. And they'd be missed, that large number meeting like that. That's a bit weird. What do they want? Yeah, so it looked like the crew had taken their jackets off. They wear like an undershirt, which is a compromise for now. It makes sense. It's kind of symbolic in some ways that they're taking it off. Let's turn the heating up a bit on the commands deck.
This morning, I dreamt that I walked into CNC totally unprepared for my work.
When did you join Earth Force?
2247.
All right, so we're talking 13 years.
She got up fairly quickly. 13 years, I'd have thought.
You don't know where you fit anymore.
Yeah.
How to define yourself. You're feeling vulnerable, lost, and exposed.
She was in that dream.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be having dreams where you're showing up to work naked. You'd be in real trouble.
What is that? It sounds big. Well, noisy.
But due to the recent changes in our status, we've had to cut back on our inspectors. Time to time, insects are going to get in.
Yeah, budget's going to be an issue now.
Don't hang up on me!
He hung up on you.
Hang up on me.
Oh, that's pretty big.
You are Ambassador Malari?
My dear lady, for you I would be anyone you want me to be.
Excuse me, have you seen Ambassador Malari? He always meets me here.
He's a little bit indisposed.
Morning, Delenn.
Captain.
Captain, not John.
President Clark's having a hard time keeping everything bottled up back home, so we're not on the top of his list of priorities right now.
I would have thought the breaking away of all the different... I mean, Mars said... Well, no, Mars didn't break away, did they? They said that they wouldn't follow the martial law. I don't think they declared they were independent. The other colonies did. I can't remember which colonies they were, but they did, and Babylon 5 has. I would have thought that would be quite a high priority, dealing with them. And that's going to look awful for him. I mean, that's him losing control. That completely undermines him. I know there's obviously lots of other stuff going on, but I would have thought that would be quite the priority, getting back the colonies in Babylon 5. Especially Babylon 5, because of its visibility with the other races.
Every time that I have seen you lately, we've been in the middle of a crisis, a revolution.
Last time I saw you was in a different episode. I never see you in episodes.
I'd like to see you tonight.
That's a very forthright way of putting it. He's asking you on a date.
Humans can be a very depressing people.
Only if we get turned down for dinner.
Well,
No pressure.
cannot have that. How can we?
Where? When?
Come!
He plays it so well.
And how are things at the royal court?
You know, collusion, politicking, scheming. It's
Same as always.
same old thing.
Yeah.
Good, good. And your reports? I assume they went over well? Did you tell them I helped you with your reports?
No.
Oh, there was no need to. They noticed it right
Ah.
off.
Ah, well, good.
Not in the way you mean.
Anything interesting happen while you were there?
No. No, nothing.
Well, it did. It's obviously a secret. Who is she?
Hello, Vir.
Your wife has come all this way just to see you.
Londo, I'm not married.
But in a few days you will be.
So he's hiding.
Her name is Lindesty, and you'll be spending the rest of your life with her.
It's so clever how such a simple thing like that it's him.
You know nothing about me.
I know that you are now the liaison to Menbar, and that your star seems to be in ascendance.
So you're gonna be a important person.
While I was waiting for you, Ambassador Malari told me everything about you.
Oh God.
When I marry, I want it to be for love.
Ah, a radical.
Radical, my God. Yeah, I can't imagine being in that position. Yeah, not marrying for love.
Whoa. It's quite a view, isn't it?
I know. I can never get enough of it.
I'd love to be able to see out of the window there when a ship's coming into dock. That would be quite a cool shot to see. Seeing something coming in, because they come in under them into the docking bay. That would be a really nice thing to see.
God, it makes you feel naked in front of the universe.
She doesn't know what you mean.
We've had a lot more Norns than usual come through here lately, most of them escaping the homeworld. I noticed the name of the Centauri who approved them.
Abrahamo Lincoln? You gotta be kidding me. Whose office did these come through?
Severe is getting Narns off the homeworld, which is now catching up with him.
But we will grow together.
Uh-huh.
You shall be the logical conclusion to all my happy thoughts.
Logical conclusion. Love isn't logical. In fact, it's usually illogical.
If you send me away, I will still be your wife in name, if not in fact. And I think you will find me a most pleasant fact.
Oh. Well, he's willing to give it a try, most of it.
Mr. Kodo, you're late.
I'm sorry, I was otherwise engaged.
Literally.
We bring Norns from their homeworld to work in construction and help in the factories.
Work camps.
Well, that makes sense, but they wouldn't be in the palace. I'm assuming his rooms were in the palace.
Well, then why the forgery, the fake names, the falsified transit papers?
There are many Centauri who would rather see the Norns suffer back. We're trying to help in our own way.
Dangerous way for him.
I don't do a lot of entertaining.
When did they film my flat?
I didn't come for the decor.
Well, I hope you didn't come for the cuisine either.
Flarn.
Yeah.
You learned to cook flarn?
Well, after I tried it at your place, I found I kind of liked it.
Well, you might want to try it first before you get too happy.
Want to make sure it's okay.
Oh, it looks fine.
What about the rituals? What's she going to do it Earth style? I'm assuming it's tofu?
I like that picture over there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's obviously a bit bland.
How is the flarn? Enough salt?
Just right.
What does he think of it? More to the point.
I knew if I followed you long enough, I would find the murder.
Fear!
Get behind me.
Whoa.
Assault in process, green 2.
Just one level down, near Londo's quarters. I'll be right back.
Stay run!
No, not without you!
It was a bit rubbish that he's the first one to get there. Again, shouldn't there be some kind of security in the diplomatic area? The ambassadorial section. I just would have thought there'd be one or two in the area patrolling for security reasons. To protect ambassadors.
Just before he came at them the last time, he yelled Shankar.
Shankar? That's a Narn blood oath.
But you better run a check on the Narn anyway. See what you can dig up.
Well, speak to Jakar. See what he knows.
So brave of you, putting yourself in front of me like that.
He did. And she didn't leave. She stayed with him.
You've been the hero long enough today.
I've never been a hero before.
Well, actually you have. What you're doing for the Narn, that's pretty heroic. Just not public.
We checked the ID on the Narn who attacked you. He arrived here with his pouch brother. Shankar is a blood oath.
What do women want when things get,
Again, that's Sophia.
Isn't there someone else?
There's only Londo, but...
Yeah. No, don't ask him.
There's no single answer to that, Vir. I mean, every woman is different.
And every woman's different from one day to the next.
We have 6, you see, and each one has
6?
a different level of intimacy and pleasure. First you have 1, and that's... And then there's 2, and then by the time you get to 5, it's like...
That's 5. What's 6?
Thank you.
Yeah, don't put your hands like that.
If you keep doing this, you will get killed one of these days, and then there will be no more dinners.
It was happening right under my feet. I had to do something.
No, you need to rely on his staff.
Captain, I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, surely it should have beeped. He should have approved her signal coming through. What if he was just got out of the shower? It was obviously done for the episode for that moment, but...
In the course of our investigation into the attack yesterday, we've learned something very disturbing. Over the past couple of months, Vir has been forging travel papers for as many as 2,000 Narns.
Ooh, don't tell him that.
According to the transit and relocation files, every one of them, all 2,000 Narns, all of them, are dead.
Are they dead? Or are they just classified as dead?
2,000
1,000 dead nuns.
Oh my god, look at the smile on his face.
They're not dead.
Right.
I altered the record so nobody would go looking for them.
Right. Yeah, that makes... I assumed that's kind of what he was doing.
Most of them were injured from us bombing their world and sending them to forced labor camps.
So where have they gone? That's a lot to move.
When they were healthier, I had them filtered back here to Babylon 5 or sent elsewhere.
If this comes out, the scandal would hurt both of us.
Okay, so he's going to cover it up.
If Vera is telling the truth and none of these Narns have been killed, why did one of them attack him?
Well, if officially they're dead, surely other Narns will believe that they're dead.
Everyone knows that wherever there's trouble, there's always a Narn at the center of it.
She's been to the Londo school of Narn culture.
The sooner they're dealt with, the better for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think she's the woman for you.
I have something for you.
Lindisty.
I knew you'd be surprised.
Yeah. Someone tied up on the floor. That's quite a surprise.
Our soldiers would bring them in 10, 20 at a time, and we put them to sleep. It was more humane than they deserved, really.
So she's the one the blood oath's on.
He was going to use this, but I saved it, and him, for you.
What's Vir gonna do?
And after the first few, it's really quite easy. I've done it hundreds of times myself.
Oh my god.
Accept this one as a token of my love for you and a testimony of our marriage.
Most people just get a toaster.
We are going to pretend that this entire unfortunate incident never took place.
So it's in his best interest to cover it all up. It protects him, not just Vir.
I was foolish in sending you to Mimbar before I had finished your training. You fell in with bad company.
Yeah, but not the ones he's thinking about.
Your tenure as our liaison to Mimbar is over. Start by telling your wife goodbye. She's a good woman.
No, she's
Tu
not.
sentare.
Yes, she is. I don't think she's going to be so interested now that he's no longer visibly going up the chain.
That's Abrahamo Linconi of the Centauri Relocation Bureau. Vir did a very good job creating a fake bureaucrat.
She's polished it.
So I added a few details, a photo from your file.
Looks like Londo's picture with his face on.
May I say, sir, from the bottom of my heart, that you make an absolutely charming Centauri.
I like their relationship. They're good together.
Problems towards the end there, but I think you can change.
No, she can't. What happened to the Narn?
I will wait for you.
You don't have to do that.
No, but I will.
What happened to that Narn? I would assume Vir wouldn't kill him.
Well, what relationships don't have their ups and downs?
That's a pretty big down. I mean, yes, he's obviously attracted to her. She is a pretty lady. He's enjoying the intimacy. But yeah, on the downside, she's a mass murdering, genocidal maniac. Like you said, what relationship doesn't have its ups and downs? Yeah, so what happened to that Narn? I mean, Vir would obviously refuse to do it, so then surely she would have done it, killed him. That's a bit weird. That feels completely left open. What happened to him? Yeah, I mean, I bet she's not the only one. I mean, her family sound like they're all up for it. There were soldiers there. So yeah, they're still pretty much exterminating the Narn. 2,000 Narn that Vir saved. That's a lot to relocate. And say, where are they going to go? He said some on the station, and then, but I don't know, there's not much space. It's hard to do that. It was a good episode. It was interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, we always knew Vir was different to the other Centauri. It was good to see him actually doing something to save Narn. It is completely paralleled. I'm just reminded of a story, World War II. This is just what I know. I'm sure there are many. Someone in a similar position. He was in charge of. He had the authority to assign people and take them away. He was a German, I think. Oh, can't remember. I think he was, and he allocated lots of Jewish women and children. I think actually no, I think it might have been children to trains going to Allied countries, and apparently he saved thousands or maybe even tens of thousands of people. And he did it all in secret. It wasn't until many years after the war ended that records were found and people worked out what he'd done. There was a I'll find it. There's a video on YouTube. I know because I've seen it. We have a program we had a program in the UK called That's Life, where they just had news stories on individuals and things that that happens. Often it was funny, sometimes sad, but this one, I can't remember his name, but he was very old. He was still alive when they filmed it. I'm not sure if he still is. And he was in the audience watching the show, and then they sort of said, "Oh, is so and so in the audience?" And he was, and then they told the story of what he'd done and sending people to the trains to save them. And then they said, "Is there anybody here who was affected by him?" And basically, there were just loads of people in the audience all stood up, and they were all the children, or some of the children that he had actually saved. And they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for him. Yeah, I will find it and I'll put a link. I feel I'm welling up a little bit now. It was so powerful to watch. So yeah, there'll be a link in the description to that. It's definitely worth a watch. He was such a humble person and things he did, and it's exactly what Vir did. And Vir said he wasn't a hero, but those are the people who are the heroes, the ones who did all that. And say this guy, he didn't tell anyone. He had no recognition for it. He just did it because it was the right thing to do, and it's just other people found out about it years later. So yeah, those are the heroes. Yeah, so really good episode. Different turn obviously to the last few we've had. Obviously we've had quite a lot of tension and stress and everything going on. They kind of just brought it down a bit now. They have to. You can't keep at that pace forever. So yeah, be interesting to see where we go from here. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and we'll see you for the next one. Seeing you.